Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Jo Ray Mi Fa So La Keto. I'm Jo Ray and I do weekly vlogs and meal prep videos to share my keto health journey. Today I am doing my first ever giveaway. Keto Chow has kindly sent me a big box of a ton of different Keto Chow flavors to give away and let people try. So in honor of that, this week I am making meals that all use Keto Chow. For those of you that haven't heard of Keto Chow, it is a full keto meal replacement. You can use it in a shake. I like to drink them in shakes or in ice cream, but a lot of these you can actually use in other recipes and make desserts and make savory meals with them. For me, what's different about Keto Chow is it's made for keto. It's not a protein shake or like a supplement. It is really meant to replace an entire meal. It has all of the vitamins and minerals and electrolytes that you would need in one meal, and technically you could drink 3 every day to get all of that in. Personally, I like to use Keto Chow maybe 3 times a week. I really like to eat it as ice cream and have ice cream as a meal. Or sometimes I'll put it in a soup or other things that I'm making for the week. But they really do have like a ton of recipes on their website. You can always just put in the flavor of Keto Chow that you have and a bunch of recipes will pop up. Joe and Rachel from Two Krazy Ketos also make a lot of recipes with Keto Chow. So one of the recipes that I'm going to be using today is Joe from Two Krazy Ketos, his Keto Chow chili. But I'm actually going to use them in a couple savory meals today. And I think a lot of us, when we think of Keto Chow, we think of sweet, but they do have some savory flavors. So I'm going to use a couple of those today, and I am going to use one of the sweets. So this week, I'm going to be making 2 meals and a dessert. So this will be the first dessert that I've ever made on my channel. This week, I'm going to be making Two Krazy Ketos Keto Chow chili. I've heard so many good reviews on this, and this is the first time I'm gonna try it. The second meal that I'm making is a Keto Chow chicken Cordon Bleu Casserole, and then for dessert, we're gonna make some lemon bars. You can find all of these recipes on the Keto Chow website, which is ketochow.xyz. Before I get into making all of the recipes, let's go ahead and talk about what you need to do to enter the giveaway. So there's gonna be 3 things. You need to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Third, leave a comment letting me know if you have tried Keto Chow before, yes or no, and also what meal you're looking forward to trying the most from today's video. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll go through all the ingredients we're gonna be using in tonight's recipes. So here are all of the ingredients that I'm going to use in tonight's recipes. Over here on this side, I have all of the ingredients for the Keto Chow chili. So I have some ground pork and ground beef. I also have my seasonings, which is some cumin, some cayenne pepper, and some chili powder. Then I have some monk fruit sweetener. They say you can add some like drops of stevia. I don't have any stevia. I might put a pinch of this in there. Here's my Keto Chow. We're gonna be using the creamy tomato basil for this one. Then I have my onions and my green peppers. It calls for some beef stock, which I don't have any, so I use the Better Than Bouillon beef. There's some bacon in here as well. So that's everything that we have for the chili recipe. In the middle here are the ingredients for the chicken Cordon Bleu Casserole. So I have my chicken. I just cooked this in the air fryer, and then I'm gonna shred it in a little bit. I also have some Swiss cheese, and this is some ham. We also have some Parmesan cheese. I have some pork panko over here, which are some crushed up pork rinds. I have some mayonnaise, which I made with some avocado oil. We have Dijon mustard, some sour cream, and I think the garlic is also in this recipe. Oh, and then I forgot to mention, in this container, we have the chicken soup Keto Chow. So I had a big bag of this, so I put them in these little nice containers, and it has a label on it, so it's all nice and pretty. And then on this side are the ingredients for the lemon bars. So we have almond flour. This is the lemon meringue Keto Chow. I have 3 eggs. It calls for some powdered erythritol. I didn't have anything that was powdered, just granular, so I just used this little food processor and ground it up to make it finer. I also have some lemon juice, some butter, Kerrygold always, and then I am gonna probably add some lemon zest in there, make it a little bit lemonier, if that's even a word. The first thing that I'm going to do is get all of the chicken cordon bleu ingredients put together and put in the oven. This one is gonna take probably the longest to cook in the oven, and while that's cooking, I could put the chili on the stove. So let's get started. Okay, so this recipe is really easy. Honestly, you put almost everything into a bowl, minus the panko pork rinds and the Swiss cheese. So right now in this bowl, I have the shredded chicken and I have the ham. So to that, I'm gonna add the rest of my ingredients, which is gonna be the mayo, the Dijon mustard, the sour cream, salt and pepper, and the Keto Chow. Oh, and the Parmesan cheese. So right now, all we need to do is put this in the oven for 20 minutes, then we're gonna add the cheese and the panko pork rinds, hi Quincy, and bake it for a little bit more, maybe 5 more minutes, and then this should be done. So I'm gonna get this in the oven. Okay, y'all, I'm such an idiot. I forgot to add the chicken broth. I didn't have any chicken broth, I just used some water in this case, so off camera, I put the water in there, mixed it up, put it back in the dish, and put it back in the oven. So right now we're just gonna get started on the chili. In my pot, I have some avocado oil warming up. The recipe says to use some coconut oil. It didn't say how much. I'm not a fan of coconut oil because I feel like I can taste the coconut. So I use a little bit of avocado oil and then we're gonna add our bacon to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cook the bacon for a little bit and then we're gonna add the ground beef and the ground pork. Now that the ground beef and ground pork are pretty much cooked, I'm gonna go ahead and add the peppers, the garlic, and the onions. So the chicken is now out of the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and add the Swiss cheese on top. That's gonna go back in the oven for 10 minutes and then the panko is 5. So I really should just read the directions ahead of time. So now that our veggies are soft, I'm gonna go ahead and add the spices. So that's salt, pepper, cumin, chili powder, and pepper that I'm gonna be adding in here. And then now we add our Keto Chow. The recipe calls to add a few drops of liquid stevia. I don't have any of that, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this monk fruit, maybe like a pinch or so. I don't know what my deal is in forgetting to add the water, but I'm gonna go ahead and add the water and the beef bouillon. So now all we're gonna do is put the lid on and let it cook. The recipe says for an hour. I mean, I'm honestly just gonna cook it however long I have. So the casserole is out of the oven. All of the cheese is really melted on top. So I'm gonna add the pork rinds on top and put it back in the oven for 5 minutes. So the casserole is out of the oven. This looks delicious. It smells delicious. The chili smells really good too. But I'm gonna let that cool down for a little bit and then we will try it. But right now we're gonna start on the lemon bars. So to get started on the lemon bars, I have my softened butter in my dish. The recipe says to just, parchment line it. This is silicone, so I'm not gonna line it. We'll hope nothing sticks to it. But I'm gonna mix everything in this dish. For me, it's like, why waste another dish? To the butter, I am gonna add some almond flour, 1 scoop of Keto Chow, and then our powdered erythritol. This recipe does call for 2 scoops of the Keto Chow, so if that was packets, it'd be 2 packets. There's 1 in the crust and 1 in the topping, so we're gonna make the crust really quick. So now we're gonna make the filling. So in that, we're gonna use the lemon juice, another scoop of Keto Chow, 3 eggs, which kind of rolled away over here, and the erythritol, and my daughter's gonna help me with the eggs. So the lemon bar crust is still in the oven. It does need to cool for a little bit before I can put the topping on. And then this does need to go in the fridge for a couple hours to cool before I can eat them. So what I want to do now is let's try the food and then I'll come back later and we'll try the lemon bars. So now let's go ahead and give everything a taste. So with the chili, I did add some shredded cheese on top and some roasted chilies. It's really good. And there is a little bit of a kick in it because of the cayenne. I probably added a little bit more than I needed to. But the recipe that I used, it normally is a 12 serving recipe, but I cut it in half for 6. So 1 serving on this is about 285 calories. It ends up being almost 7 carbs, and about 2.5 of that is fiber. So really there's only about 4.5 carbs per serving. That's definitely better than if you were to use real tomatoes. Those do have a lot more carbs, so this really does cut down the carbs using the Keto Chow instead of tomatoes, tomato paste, and anything like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and break up this recipe from 6 servings to 4 because I do want it to be closer to 500 calories. I don't really track the calories, but I do want to pay attention to them a little bit just to make sure that I'm eating enough. If I were to eat just 1 serving, most likely I'd be a little bit hungry later because that's barely 300 calories. So splitting this recipe from 6 to 4 ends up being about 430 calories. And that does leave me a little bit of room to add like cheese, maybe sour cream or other like toppings on top. So now let's go ahead and give the chicken Cordon Bleu Casserole a try. So the cheese did get a little hard. I might have let it sit a little bit too long, but it's still warm. So that's really good. I love that little pork rind crust on top. And I'll probably add some hot sauce because that's what I do. I add hot sauce to everything. So this recipe is 9 servings and about 289 calories a serving. And the carb count on this one is even lower. So total carbs is 2.13. There's about 0.76 grams of fiber, so you're looking at not even 2 carbs for a serving. For this one, I'm also going to change the amount of servings from 9 servings to 6. So again, that leaves me at about 430 calories per serving. So we're gonna come back in just a little bit and I'm gonna try those lemon bars. Okay, so it's almost like 11 o'clock at night. Almost forgot to try the lemon bars. We're gonna go ahead and give them a try. So here's a plate of them. Here's it up close. Put a little bit of that powdered sugar on top. Honestly, it's probably not super powdered. Wait, honestly, it's probably not really powdered sugar. I don't think I got it as powdery as maybe you'd like to, but it was better than, I guess, full granulated. So let's take a bite. So the crust did get hard and the top is soft like a lemon bar normally would be. That's pretty good. I think it could be a little bit more tart. But for a dessert and to try to be like something that I've had before, I would totally make these again. They were actually pretty easy. The ingredients weren't very complicated. It's like butter, eggs, sugar, keto chow, some lemon juice, almond flour. There's really not much that goes into it. So that whole pan made 9 bars. Each bar is about 160 calories. So the total carbs are a little high at 15.8 total carbs, but a lot of that is the sugar alcohol in the sweetener. So about 13 of those carbs are from sugar alcohol, and then you have about 1.9 or 2 carbs that are fiber. So net carbs, you're actually looking under 1 net carb per serving. It's 0.92. I love how Keto Chow breaks down the carbs, you know, by decimal points. Thank you, Chris Bear. I know that was you. So this entire bar is 1 serving. I honestly think that I would probably break this up into more servings. I would cut this in half and maybe have a half of one for a little bit of a snack. I'm not really sure I need to eat a whole one. You know what would be really good too is if you got some raspberries or blueberries and kind of crush them up with a little bit of like monk fruit and drizzled it on top. I might do that next time. So as a reminder, if you want to enter the giveaway for the Keto Chow, there are 3 things you need to do. You need to like this, subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know if you have tried Keto Chow before and also what dish you like the best tonight. So in the giveaway, there's going to be a lot of different flavors. Like we have banana, eggnog, some chocolate peanut butter, strawberry, pumpkin spice, caramel. I have snickerdoodle, one of these. This is one of my favorites. Chocolate, root beer float. There's a ton of these. And honestly, I'm not really sure. I gotta count how many packets I have. It's probably around 100. I'm not gonna send one person all 100 packets, but I'll probably break it up into maybe 5-10 people that will get a lot of Keto Chow. So thank you everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye.